I didn't plan to come home early. The war did that for me. Orders shifted, flights changed, fate got careless. The house was quiet in the way lies are quiet, too clean, too prepared. My son's room was empty, no toys on the floor, no blanket half dragged off the bed, no smell of sweat and crayons in the life of a 7-year-old boy who sleeps like he's running from monsters. My wife didn't look surprised when I asked. "He's with my parents," she said, too fast, too practiced. "They wanted extra time with him." I nodded. Soldiers are trained to nod while alarms scream in their skulls. At 2:41 a.m., I was already driving. Her parents' house sat on land so wide it swallowed sound. No porch light, no welcome, just a moon sharp enough to cut. I heard the shovel before I saw him, metal scraping dirt, slow, exhausted. I ran. My son was in the backyard, barefoot, knees shaking, hands wrapped in rags already soaked through. Blood darkened the soil beneath him. The hole was deep enough that the earth had started to smell old. 4 feet, 2 days' work. He didn't cry when he saw me. He looked relieved, like someone who had stopped hoping and suddenly didn't have to. "Grandpa said I can't sleep until I dig my own bed," he whispered. Something in my chest broke so cleanly it felt surgical. I jumped into the hole and pulled him out, held him like he might dissolve. Then he said it. "Daddy, Grandpa made me do something first." He pointed. Near the fence, a fresh mound, too neat, too intentional. I didn't look, not yet. I used to trust that man. I let him teach my son how to fish, how to pray, how to be tough. I shook his hand before deployment and thanked him for helping my wife while I was gone. That memory still makes me sick. The betrayal wasn't loud. It never is. It's quiet decisions made when you think no one is watching. I didn't confront anyone that night. I took my son. I drove straight to the ER. I said nothing that couldn't be proven. By sunrise, I was done being a father in panic. I became something else. I didn't touch the mound. I called the police. I called my commander. I called a lawyer before my wife woke up. I learned what the law needs, and more importantly, what it doesn't forgive. The backyard was excavated by professionals. The mound contained evidence of a crime that had nothing to do with imagination or discipline or old-school parenting. The kind of crime that collapses families in a single sentence. My wife arrived screaming. Her father didn't. He was already being escorted into a car with hands shaking too much to hide anything. My son never saw him again. Revenge isn't rage, it's patience with a pulse. While my wife begged for explanations, I documented everything. Medical reports, psychological evaluations, photographs, timestamps. I installed cameras in places she didn't know to lie. I let her talk. People confess when they think they're justifying. She admitted she knew something was wrong, that she suspected, that she ignored it because confronting her father would tear the family apart, so she let him tear my son instead. I didn't raise my voice when I filed for emergency custody. I didn't flinch when her lawyer tried to posture. I let the judge read the reports. The gavel didn't hesitate. The trial took months. I attended every day in uniform, not for intimidation, for memory, so no one could forget who failed to protect a child while his father was at war. Her father was convicted. The sentence was long enough that time will erase his name before it releases him. My wife wasn't charged. She was punished more quietly. She lost custody. She lost credibility. She lost the story she told herself about being a good mother. I watched her realize that regret doesn't reverse damage. The final confrontation happened in a visitation room. She asked me how I could do this to her. I told her I didn't. I told her she did this to herself the moment she chose comfort over truth, the moment she chose her father over her son, the moment she thought my absence meant my blindness. She cried. I didn't. My son sleeps in his own bed now. Sometimes he still wakes up digging with his hands, whispering apologies to the dirt. I sit with him until it passes. I remind him that beds are for rest, not punishment, that monsters don't get to make rules anymore. Justice didn't give me peace, but it gave me control, and control, when earned, feels a lot like freedom. I came home 5 days early. They thought that was bad luck. They were wrong. It was the end.